Hi beautiful souls, it's me Delush from Girl and Her Moon, and today I'll be channeling the energies of the November Scorpio new moon, and through the tarot we will be seeing what kind of information is going to come through for each of the signs. So we have 6 cards for each sign, and Scorpio is a very transformative type of energy, so we will be looking at those aspects. So as we know, it's Scorpio new moon, and Scorpio is in the first house. So we will start with Aries, the baby of the zodiac, as always, and tuning into the energies. Connecting to the collective consciousness. I'll just cleanse the cards for this video. Okay. So we'll start with Aries. So we need the cards to flick out randomly, as I don't choose the cards. So we need 6 cards. During this Scorpio new moon Aries, you are in the 8th house, and the 8th house relates to sex, transformation, and joint resources and secrets. Now, the 8th house is very, very symbolic, or it relates to Scorpio itself. Okay, so it's about death and rebirth and transformation, sex, power struggles, power and domination. It's about joint resources, secrets, secret services. It can relate to places like hospitals and institutions and things like that as well. So let's have a look and see what comes through for you, Aries. Okay. 6 cards. We need them to flick out. Okay, so we've got our cards. Now, so Aries, the first card we have relates to your self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, habits, etc., that you need to recognize. And once you do recognize them, how to stop them. Okay, so all of these self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, habits that need to be recognized and stopped. And we have the 7 of Cups here. So the cups relating to your emotions and feelings, we do get a good picture here where you are looking at all of those emotionally based habits and attitudes and beliefs that you maybe haven't recognized or realized before that you need to stop. They're based on your emotions. You probably act on your emotions. Maybe you are addicted to something due to emotional it has an emotional background to it. Okay, so check them all. See where you are emotionally being self-destructing with these habits and beliefs and attitudes. Okay, once you do realize which one is, or which ones are the ones that are not healthy for you, it's time to shed them. It's time to release them. I know it's a new moon, but we need to release certain things. It's like, starting to release a habit, for instance. If you've been in a habit of doing something and you've been in a vicious cycle for a while, it just means that it is time to start releasing this. The new moon suggests new beginnings, okay? And releasing old habits and old ways of being are a start to a new way of being, okay? So if you have thought about releasing certain things during the full moon that we just recently had, this is the time to start putting them into action. Okay, start to put them into action, into motion, and to start releasing them, working on them. Okay, so that's what's coming through. It does show an emotional background to certain self-destructive things that you have been doing lately. Okay, just put the cards in that way so they're a little bit more visible. So where you need to prepare for transformation, it is saying that you may have been thinking about new ventures. Okay, so the Fool card suggests new beginnings, new ventures, new things to start. Okay, and where you need to prepare for transformation is on a brand new beginning. Okay, so if you have been doing something for so long and it has not been beneficial to you, maybe it's time to do something totally different. Okay, so this is where you need to prepare for transformation. It can also relate to you acting in a foolish way. Okay, so the Fool does represent you being reckless. Okay, so where you need to prepare for transformation, it can relate to you acting with a reckless attitude, or maybe being too innocent. Okay, innocence is coming through with this card because the Fool card represents the zero. In other words, the Fool card is like the embryo of the tarot deck, not even a baby. Okay, so it does represent brand new things, and it does represent innocence. So where have you been acting reckless, without thinking, jumping into situations without thinking? Have people been taking advantage of you? Okay, so you being in the 8th house, we do see a situation relating to transformation happening anyway. So there is transformation happening there, but also relating to your joint resources and maybe secrets coming out. Okay, so if you've been foolish in regards to maybe trusting others in regards to joint resources, there could be something there that you need to realize that you have been too naive about. Okay, and secrets, maybe you didn't realize that there were certain secrets happening, and you were just being too naive and you couldn't see it. Okay, so that is where you need to prepare for transformation. Okay, so being a little bit more diligent, being a little bit more perceptive and clear in regards to how you move forward in your life, basically. Okay, so what can block this growth or this transformation? And we have the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is saying that if you do not surrender to the Wheel of Fortune, okay, you have to ride the waves. Basically, you know, if you think positive, it will come back to you positive. It's like karma. It's like a symbolic thing, symbolic situation, you know, that relates to karma or the cycles of life. So what you cause and effect, that kind of situation. So if you ride the waves of life without thinking negatively or thinking bad or negative, then it's going to come back to you in the positive way. But if you've been thinking negatively, it's going to come back to you in a negative way, because you attract what you put out. Okay, so it goes out and then it comes back. Okay, so that's what the blockage can be. The blockage can be depending on how positive or negative you have been. The blockage can be you being unconfident and maybe thinking negatively, and it's coming back to you in a negative way. The blockage can be that you do not surrender to this cause and effect situation, and you don't ride the waves of life. You try to control everything, then that can be a blockage to you. Okay, so that's what's coming through with the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so what will support this growth, this transformation? And we have the Ace of Cups. Ooh. So the Ace of Cups, cups representing your emotions and feelings, and it's the ace, it's like the beginning of emotions and feelings. So what supports this growth? What you feel in your heart, okay? Love, compassion, coherence, all of that. Feelings of, you know, new feelings of spirituality, new feelings of love, feeling gratitude, all of that. So once you do feel all of these, the aces have potential. So it will support your growth. Keep your heart pure. That's what this card is saying. Keep your heart pure, but not to the point where you are naive. Okay, keep your heart pure, keep your heart clean, don't think negative, and it will support your growth. So what do you need to do to shed these old destructive attitudes, beliefs, or habits? Follow your heart. Okay, so once you do get in touch with your heart, okay, follow your heart, follow your heart, follow your heart in a, this card gives me the energy, gives me the feeling, the energy of a romantic fantasy like energy. And what you need to do is to feel that, okay? Even if it feels too idealistic, even if it feels too fantasy like, you need to feel that, okay? That's how you can shed these old destructive ways of being. So what will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies? You will become strong and full of willpower. You will be able to manifest your desires. You will realize your power and your skills. You will be able to have the belief that you have all the resources within yourself. Your inner knowingness is there, and you will be able to utilize that with all the resources that are around you that you can take and utilize. Okay, so that's what's coming through for you, Aries. Taurus, let's see what comes through for you for the new moon in Scorpio. Okay, so 6 cards. And Taurus, you are in the 7th house, the house of partnerships, whether it's marriage or business. So the house of partnerships, it is relating to some sort of partnership that is binded by some sort of contract. So it can be marriage, it can be a business partnership. Okay, so this is the house of partnership. Let's see what comes through for you. Okay, 6 cards. Okay, so we've got our cards, and the very first card we have relates to self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, and habits that need to be recognized and stopped. Okay, and what we have is the 10 of coins, or 10 of pentacles. Okay, normally the pentacles card is a very good positive card, but it comes through as a self-destructive attitude or belief or habit that you need to recognize and stop. Okay, so with this, what we see is lack of stability. Okay, lack of stability, lack of resources, and fleeting success. So it could be like, you know, you're trying to succeed in something, but you give up easily. It's like you don't stick to it. Okay, there is a lack of commitment. And even laziness. There could also be greed. Okay, so these are your destructive attitudes, beliefs, and habits that you need to recognize and stop. Okay, that needs to stop. So where you need to prepare for transformation, we have the Knight of Swords. Okay, so the transformation is going to happen at the mind level, because we do have the Sword card here. And it relates to the mind. Now, when we look at the house that you're in during this Scorpio new moon, you are in the 7th house, relating to partnerships, marriage, or business. So it can relate to partnerships in general. Okay, when we're looking at these situations, it can be that you need to take action if you have no direction. So where you need to prepare for transformation, you need to prepare for transformation relating to taking action when the time comes. Okay, and being quick to take action. If you have no direction and are acting in an unpredictable way by defending your beliefs, and you're acting in a way where you're disregarding others' consequences, disregarding the consequences, it can kind of fire back at you. So you need to prepare for transformation where you need to take sudden action, okay, relating to your beliefs towards love and relationships, or should I say partnerships in general. So it can be business, it can be intimate. Okay, so blockages that stop your growth. Okay, so what blocks this growth? What blocks this growth? And what we have is the Queen of Wands. Okay, so the Queen of Wands comes through as a fire element, so it is related to your behaviors and attitudes. And also your desires and passions. So when we look at this card, it can relate to a specific person. Okay, so there may be someone that is blocking your growth. Maybe there is someone that you haven't been able to forget, for instance, if you are connected at the heart level. Or it could be someone that you are dealing with that is blocking your growth, or your blocking your transformation to occur. The other thing that I see here is maybe you're feeling insecure. There could be some sort of jealousy or selfishness in there that you need to kind of release and let go, so that you can start gaining more courage and determination, passion and joy in your life. Okay. Okay, so what supports this growth? the tried and true path, the traditionals, morals and ethics. Okay, so when we look at the Hierophant, what we do see is a priest. Okay, usually the priest is like a spiritual or religious identity that, you know, relates to a group. Now, this also relates to your throat chakra. Okay, it is earth element, but it relates to your throat chakra. It's ruled by Venus and Taurus. Yourself, Taurus. So the Hierophant is a Taurus card. And when we see this as a support in your growth for your transformation, what we do see is that you should choose the traditional, tried and true path, and not to go into something that you've never done before, or don't do it in a way that you've never done before. If it's time for you to get married during this time, you know, if you're expected to get married, something like that is possible during this time, because it does relate to marriage as well, commitment and marriage. It could be a time that you may even meet someone that you'll end up getting married with as well during this time. So I do see that all these things, all these areas in particular, will help support your transformation or growth in some way. So what do you need to do to shed these old destructive attitudes and beliefs and habits that you need to let go? What do you need to do to shed these? We have the Three of Swords. So if you've been heartbroken in the past, it's time to release those thoughts, because the swords are related to the mind. So the emotion that you felt within the time happened then, but then it went into your mind and got stuck in your mind. So it's time to release that from your mind. It's time to recover. It's time to forgive and move on and recover from whatever it was that you went through. Okay, it seems like it was something that you went through quite a long time ago. Okay, and it is time to release that. Okay, so that's what we get in regards to what you need to do to shed these old destructive ways. Okay, your destructive attitudes, beliefs and habits could be because of this situation that happened. Okay, maybe you're acting in that way because you haven't been able to heal from that as yet. Okay, so the last card we have is what will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies? I feel like you'll regain your identity and you'll be standing your ground. Okay, standing your ground, being aware of who you are, being more independent, and regaining your identity. Okay, so that is for you, Taurus. So Gemini, let's see what comes through for you. 6 cards. Okay, so Gemini, what we have is the cards here. The first card represents your self-destructive attitude, beliefs, habits that need to be recognized and stopped. And we have the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles represents possessiveness, okay? It can represent stinginess or greediness or possessiveness. You're just trying to hold on to what you have so hard, or you want more and you want more and you want more. And this is saying, this is not good for you. It's not going to be healthy for you. So it's time to let go a bit, okay? Time to release and let go of this attitude. Okay, and it could also be situations that have happened and you have not been able to forgive and let go as well, and you still keep those feelings inside of you as well. Okay, so where you need to prepare for transformation, and I do see the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords are related to some sort of heartbreak or suffering or grief that you have been through, and it is saying that you need to prepare for transformation within this area. You need to recover from this. You need to forget, you need to forgive, and you need to move on so that you can recover and rejuvenate. Okay? The next card we have is what is blocking you from going through this transformation, this growth. And we've got the King of Cups. The King of Cups represents you maybe controlling your emotions, okay? Controlling your emotions to the point where you're becoming cold, and maybe you're a bit moody. You're being so moody that people around you are walking around like they're walking on eggshells, and emotional manipulation comes through as well. So where you need to prepare for transformation is around these areas. It's all related to your emotions. You need to release all of those aspects of yourself so that you can have a balance between your head and heart, and you can be at a healthy, balanced way with your emotions, being more emotionally intelligent. Okay, so what supports this growth? Taking some rest and just resting, basically. Okay, rest and restoration, taking that R&R time, maybe contemplating on what you have been doing so far. Okay, so a lot of rest, a lot of time out, a lot of contemplating, a lot of meditating. Okay, all of that, even if it means going to a psychologist and lying on their sofa and telling them about your situation here. Okay, so anything in regards to those areas, that is going to help support your transformation, your growth. So what you need to do to shed these old destructive ways? We have the Judgment card here. The Judgment card represents listening to your inner calling. Okay, so it's like making those daily choices every day that will align you with your life's purpose, align you with what you're meant to be doing in life, and also reflecting. Okay, so it's about being more self-aware. It's about releasing doubt about yourself. So what you need to do to shed these old destructive habits or attitudes or beliefs is to be more self-aware, be more awake, be more feel that awakening. Okay, awake. You need to be more awake of, or aware of, who you are. Okay, self-awareness. So what will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies? You will be reborn again. Okay, so being reborn, it's like it's a total transformation for you, where you will be reborn. You'll be entering a new path in your life. Okay, so as you are in the 6th house, it is relating to your health routine, your health, your daily routines, maybe your work environment, your duties, etc., etc. So all of these situations can relate mostly to these areas of your life during this time. Okay, so that is what is coming through for you, Gemini. Cancer, you are in the 5th house. Okay, the 5th house, it relates to pleasures, creativity, and romance. It can also relate to children. So let's have a look and see what comes through for you, Cancer. Oh, just drop them all. So we need 6 cards. Okay, just dropped a card on the floor. Okay, so we've got our cards. The very first card here represents the Three of Wands. Now, this is looking at your self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, and habits that need to be recognized and stopped. And what we see is you being in the 5th house of, the house of pleasure and creativity and romance. Now, the Three of Wands, it can show, maybe seeing, constantly feeling like there will be obstacles and delays, maybe being frustrated that you're not enjoying, not having enough pleasure in life, not being able to expand your horizons. Okay, so that's what's coming through with this card. So where you need to prepare for transformation, it all boils down to your feeling of security. Okay, so where you need to prepare for transformation. So the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Coins. If you are living beyond your means, okay, and you're being obsessed with work, these are the things that you need to kind of relax so you can find more time for pleasure, more creative things to do, maybe spend more time with your children. You maybe focus too much on your security. Okay, so what are the blockages to this growth or transformation? Worries, fears, anxieties. What am I going to do tomorrow? How am I going to get this done? I'm not good enough for this job. Am I going to be able to get that job? Am I going to be able to achieve this or that? Okay, so this is your blockage. It's your mental, it's your mind. It is your mind. Your mind is playing games with you. This is the Nine of Swords. So we have the Nine of Coins turning into the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Coins, being more focused on your security, your well-being, all of that, where it is causing so much mindful activity, where you are in despair. Okay, you're feeling hopelessness. So you're feeling anxiety, fears, and trauma, to the point of trauma. Maybe it's turning into insomnia where you can't sleep anymore. So this is saying this is a blockage to your growth. You need to release that chatter in your mind. You need to let go of that chatter that you have in your mind. Okay, so what supports this growth? And we've got the Four of Cups here, so it does relate to your emotions. And the Four of Cups represents choosing happiness, accepting what is, being aware of what is, and choosing happiness regardlessly. Meditating, okay, getting more grounded, being more in touch with the earth, okay. So if you have a weak root chakra, you will be very concerned about your security, and you won't have time for the pleasures of life. You won't have time for the creative things that you can do in your life with your children, etc. Okay, so what you need to do to shed these old destructive habits and beliefs and attitudes or ways, we have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords here is saying that you need to be very disciplined. Okay, have a time for everything. Plan your life. Be disciplined. Have a time for everything. Do everything when the time comes to do whatever it is that you're meant to be doing. Okay, be disciplined, and don't try to be just analytical. Connect with your heart, because we need the heart there. Okay, so the emotions are coming through with the Cups card. You need to open your heart. Okay, don't be cold. Don't have a cold heart, basically. So open your heart, be connected with your heart. So what will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies during this time? What we do get is the Two of Wands. Okay, so the Two of Wands represents making better plans, making decisions, doing things with your kids, doing creative things, doing work, whatever, all at the time when it's, you know, having that specific plan set up where you have more time to do things that you enjoy. You will be able to expand, because that is what is blocking you, okay, not being able to see where you're going, because you can expand, and you'll start to make plans to even travel and explore. Okay, so that's what's coming through for you, Cancer. Okay, so Leo, you are in the 4th house, and the 4th house is the house of home, house, and family. Let's have a look and see what comes through for you. Okay, so we've got our 6 cards. So the very first card we have shows us your self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, habits, or ways that need to be recognized and stopped. And what we see here is the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords is all about deception and trickery. So if you have been deceiving yourself, deceiving others, tricking yourself, using tactics and strategies to be able to gain what you want to gain, you should start to come clean and rethink your approach. Be honest. Okay, do not cut corners. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your expressions. Talk in an honest way. Express yourself. Say exactly what you're thinking instead of sugarcoating it and distorting that truth that you have in your mind. Okay, be straightforward, basically. Be straightforward. What do you feel? Say it. What do you think? Say it. Don't try to sugarcoat it or hold it in just because you don't want to rock the boat. say it and expect the same in return. So your self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, habits, and ways have been in this way. So you need to start to recognize this and stop it. Okay? So where do you need to prepare for transformation? You need to start preparing your transformation by freeing yourself from limiting beliefs, from limiting conditioned mindset. Okay, if you're saying I'm not good enough, I'm not, I don't have enough, I can't do this, I'm too old, I'm too short, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, whatever the reason may be, this is where you start. You start with yourself. You start releasing yourself from all these conditionings. You start releasing yourself from this self-victimized situation. You've put yourself into this prison, self-victimized prison. Okay, so you need to release yourself from this. This is where you need to prepare for transformation, from yourself first. Okay, so what blocks this growth? So what can block this growth or transformation? And we have the Empress card here. The Empress is normally a very, very beautiful card, but in this situation it's like it can come through as being selfless, selfish, tyrant. It can come through as being excessive or overly smothering, dominating. Okay, so you have to see these attitudes can block your growth. Okay, it can also represent mother figure. So if you have a mother figure around you, maybe your mother figure can, your mum, for instance, can block this transformation with their energy, with their presence as well. The next card we have is what supports this growth. Okay, so we've got the Four of Pentacles or coins here. The Four of Pentacles or coins relate to being more secure within yourself. Okay, being more secure within yourself, being sure of yourself, and also being a little bit more conservative, or holding back, not jumping into situations, maybe just holding back a little bit, being a little bit more low profile. Okay, so the next card, now this relates to a lot of the family, okay, because we got the mother figure there, we got how you treat others, how others treat you, etc., how you treat yourself. So the sixth house is relating to the house, home, and family. So what you need to do to shed these old destructive habits or attitudes or beliefs. We have the Chariot. Okay, so the Chariot is all about being more disciplined, being more self-control. Okay, having more self-control, having a direction, having the will and discipline to succeed. Okay, so more self-control, more discipline, self-discipline. So what will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies? Things will be in motion, things will be in action. So with the Knight of Swords, what we do get is action, movement happening, action happening, where if you need to defend a certain belief, you'll have to kind of look at, realizing the consequences, where you won't be acting unpredictably, of course, because you're realizing the consequences by having a direction to move towards. Okay, so you'll have a direction, you will be more aware, more perceptive of your direction, more clear where you will be able to take action. Okay, so that's what's coming through in regards to being forthright is another thing. Okay, so remember the first card, not saying everything truthfully. This is saying being forthright. So yeah, being direct and forthright, being more clear, being more honest with your interactions, with your communications. Okay, so Virgo, you are in the third house. So the third house relates to the intellect. It relates to learning and communication. Let's have a look and see what comes through for you. Okay, so Virgo, the very first card we have is the Ten of Cups, and it relates to self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, habits, and ways that you need to recognize and that need to be stopped. Okay, so what we have is the Ten of Cups, but Ten of Cups is in the shadow side here, and normally it's a very, very beautiful card. Okay, so it can relate to feeling that, you know, your dreams have been shattered, kind of getting a little bit depressed. Okay, it could be relating to domestic disputes and the way you communicate. Okay, the way you communicate could actually be a cause for domestic dispute, quarrels, and maybe broken family. Okay, so that kind of situation, you have to kind of look at the way you communicate with others. Okay, your communication, the way you communicate can actually be a destructive attitude or a habit that you need to recognize and need to stop. Okay, so where you need to prepare for transformation, you need to look at your choices. What is it that you are focused on? What is it that, what is your purpose? What are you searching for? What is your purpose? Okay, it can be relating to lack of purpose or confusion. Maybe you're feeling confused. This is where you need to prepare for transformation. Okay, something is going to be unraveled for you in this area. The blockage to this growth or transformation, I do get emotions. Okay, so being very, very emotional, feeling insecure, maybe even feeling to the point of dependency. Okay, so need to release those feelings. That is a blockage to this growth. So what supports this growth? Working on the situation without lowering your standards. Okay, don't lower your standards, but not to the point where you are putting everyone else in a position where they feel like they're worthless. Of course, not like that. Without lowering your standards, being more passionate about and motivated about where you want to get to in regards to the way you connect with others, how you communicate with others, how you get your word across, etc. You need to work at it a little bit more. Okay, so this is saying that you need to be a bit more diligent and with passion and motivation to transform yourself. Okay, working at it, practicing. Okay, so what you need to do to shed these old destructive ways, you need to be more decisive. You need to know what it is, how it is, etc. So you need to find a way to move forwards. You can't be stuck in a limbo. You can't be stuck. You can't be in a situation where you're in a stalemate, stuck between two options or two ways, two paths at a crossroad. You need to start working on the way you need to move forward. What is it that you want to achieve? You've got your options there. the card is saying that you need to work on it. This is saying you have to stop confusing yourself, okay? Okay, so that is what you need to do to shed these old destructive ways. You need to be aware of what it is that you want and have a clear direction and be able to move in that way. So what will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies? You'll be able to have security. You'll be able to keep everything close to you, everyone close to you. You will feel more secure in your position, okay? Yeah, so when you do put your word across, when you do communicate with people, you will feel secure in your position that you are going to be heard. You will be heard in the way that you want them to hear you. Okay, so that's what's coming through in that card. Okay, so next we've got Libra. Libra, let's see what comes through for you. So Libra, you're in the second house, and the second house relates to material security and values, or your personal value system. How much do you value yourself? How much do you value what you have, what you own, etc. So the Scorpio new moon has put you in the second house. Oh, I just dropped that card. Okay. So the very first card we have is the Ace of Swords. Okay, so the Ace of Swords here shows us a self-destructive attitude, belief, or habit or situation that needs to be recognized and stopped. And what we see with the Ace of Swords here is maybe some sort of confusion or brutality, or you've been acting in a very directive, forceful way, okay, to the point where, you know, you're so clearly expressing your thoughts, because the swords represent the mind, so clearly expressing your thoughts in a direct kind of way. It seems like you're cutting away good things while you're trying to cut away the bad. So it's not helping the situation. So it being so direct can actually be so hurtful. Okay, so that's what this card is saying. When you think about your material security and your values, maybe you are so harshly criticizing yourself or others that may be questioning your material values or your material gains, or, you know, what you earn, etc. Okay, so this is a habit that you need to kind of release and let go. Okay, it's a self-destructive attitude. Maybe you're being very harsh onto yourself, or being harsh towards others that are questioning you in regards to these areas. So where you need to prepare for transformation, you need to release and let go of old beliefs, old fears, old anxieties. So the Ten of Swords represents if you've been, like, you know, in a situation where you've been defeated, okay, you failed at your material security, you failed to recognize what you value, etc. It is saying that you need to prepare for transformation in this area, because it seems like you have been you have been backlashed, whiplashed, backlashed, um, backstabbed in the back by others because they have been questioning you or criticizing you, or maybe to the point where you've been defeated by them in certain situations. So it's time to prepare yourself from this point where you are and move yourself up. It's saying stop playing dead. Get up and move. Okay, it's time to transform, completely transform. Okay, so blockages to this transformational growth is not using your intuition, being confused, confusion. Okay, you need to use your intuitive abilities to be able to, or empathic abilities to be able to tune in and understand before you quickly lash out. Okay. So what will support this growth? If you do release all of those swords, you've got so many swords stuck on you. And every time you lash one out, you get another one stuck on you. And it turns into this situation where you are in this prison, self-made prison. Okay, you start feeling like you are unable to move. You can't see where you're going. There's so much happening around you in your mind. Okay, the swords represent the mind. So in your mind, you're shaping everything around you. So you may be saying, you're not good enough because people have been saying you're not good enough, or according to the conditionings other people have been, putting you through, that's the way you have been starting to live. They could be cultural or societal or peer pressure type conditionings. They could be conditionings from media. It could also be relating to your own fears and anxieties and worries and all of that. Your limitations, what you feel you're limited in. Maybe you're saying, I don't have enough money or something like that. So it's time to release those and pull those swords out of your back and get up and, move forward. Okay, so what you need to do to shed these old destructive habits or attitudes and beliefs, believe that you are valuable. Believe that everything that you own is valuable. Everyone that you have around you is valuable. Okay, even to the tiniest scrap that you have around you is there for a reason, and it is valuable. Okay, you have to start seeing the value in it, not with the price, but the value in it, in how it means to you. Okay, so what does it mean to you? It means the world to you. It means everything to you. This is like the culmination. So that is how you can shed these old destructive ways, by realizing that you have people that care for you, the people that love you around you as well. What will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies? You will regain your identity. You will be your independent individual. Okay, you'll feel independent, you'll feel different, you'll feel like you are, different to everyone else, your own person. Okay, so that's what's coming through for you, Libra. Scorpio. So Scorpio, this is a Scorpio new moon and you are in the first house. This is your moon, Scorpio. So the first house is the house of self, the house of me, myself, and I. It's all about you, Scorpio. So let's have a look and see what comes through for you. Okay. Okay, so the first card we have relates to self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, habits, or issues or situations that you have been recognized, that need to be recognized and stopped. And what we see is the Page of Swords. Pages are like childlike energy, they're immature energy, and the swords here represent the mind. So the Page of Swords here is all about curiosity. What have you been so curious of lately? Okay, curiosity can be a destructive attitude. And being restless can also be a destructive attitude. Okay. Deception, manipulation can also be a destructive attitude. All talk. Talking too much, doing not as much. Okay. So all of these situations can be a destructive attitude or belief or habit that you need to recognize and stop. Okay. It can also relate to gossip. So if you're into that, that can also be part of it as well. So where you need to prepare for transformation, what you need to do is you need to transform, firstly, your energy. Okay. The sun here represents the sun energy, and it is we are in Scorpio season as well, so the sun is also in Scorpio. So where you need to prepare for transformation is negativity. Okay, if you're being negative, you need to release that. If you're feeling depressed or sad, you need to also release that. If you're being pessimistic, those also need to be released. So that's the area where you need to prepare for transformation. You need to regain your joy and pleasure of life, where you will celebrate the wonderful feeling of life and feeling successful. All this needs to be felt during this time. It is your moon and sun at the moment, Scorpio. So it is all related to you. Okay. Card number 3 is about what type of blockages there will be that will block this transformation or growth. And what we do get is the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles comes through as going through excessive things, okay? Maybe doing excessive things, okay? It can involve greediness or indulgence. It is saying that you need to feel more generous, okay? Feel more generous. If you are being generous towards others, it's saying it's time to be more generous towards yourself, okay? It's the time to work on yourself now, Scorpio, okay? Be generous towards yourself. Start doing certain things for yourself now. This is where you need to prepare the transformation by removing this block, okay? Removing the block of indulgence and excess, and start being generous. And being generous towards others can also make you feel good as well. So that's what's coming through with that. So releasing that blockage of excess and indulgence and greed. So what supports your growth? We have the Devil card. Okay, so the Devil card is it's time to say that you're not anyone's puppet. You are your own person. Okay, so the Devil card, what supports your growth? Freeing yourself, releasing yourself from something that relates to some sort of control. Okay, so restoring your own self-control. Okay, releasing yourself from others' control, or others over dominating you, controlling you, or something that has been that is a bad habit that you've been dealing with for a while. It's time to release that and say, well, you can't control me anymore. It's time that I control myself. Okay, so what supports this growth is that kind of attitude. Okay, what is it that you need to do to shed these old destructive attitudes or beliefs or habits or whatever? more harmony. Okay, harmonizing the energies. You need to be more in harmony, more balanced, and you need to ground yourself. Okay, that way you will be able to shed these old destructive things, being more controlled, more balanced. Okay, so what will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies? We have this card, but this card is fallen on to the positive way. Okay, so what will happen if you follow the moon's energies? What we do get is that, you know, you will, regardless of what's happened in your life, what you've been through, it's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. You will be able to rise from your ashes again. Okay, you will come out stronger. That's what this card is saying. You'll be able to release all of those mindful fears and anxieties and worries or conditionings, or even like if people have been, you know, been bad towards you lately, or you've been through certain bad situations that have been in your mind, that have been stuck in your mind. It's time that you rise from your ashes like the phoenix. So that's what will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies. Okay, so Scorpio, enjoy your new moon. Okay, so Sagittarius, this is your reading for the new moon in Scorpio. And you are in the 12th house. Oh dear, Sagittarius. It relates to the subconscious. It relates to secrets. It relates to your imagination. It can even relate to psychology. You know, your psychology. What's your psychology like? It's about certain situations, karmic situations. Releasing karmic situations also is coming through, because it is like a completion. You are in the 12th house. 12th house is the last house. It's all about completing your cycle in the zodiac wheel. Okay, so let's have a look and see what comes through for you. 6 cards. Okay, so you got very, very nice cards. Sagittarius, it seems like you will be very, very fortunate during this month, or should I say that during this moon, this new moon. We have the Chariot card as the first card. So self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, habits, or issues or situations that need to be recognized and stopped come through with the Chariot card, and it represents being out of self-control. Okay, so the Chariot card is related to your life's journey. It is related to moving forwards in your life, like you being the driver of your own chariot or your life, basically. Okay, so if you have self-control and discipline, you will be able to succeed. So your self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, etc., are having a loss of direction, having a lack of discipline. Okay, feeling like life has become blah, basically, and you have become the point where you are feeling lethargic, you're feeling fatigued, you're feeling like you've lost joy of life. Okay, so that is your self-destructive attitude. You need to have more self-control, discipline to be able to have success. Okay, so where you need to prepare for transformation, it comes through around the home, family, home, house. Okay, so the 4 of The Four of Wands here represents the community, home, and also relating to feeling like there is lack of support. Maybe there's a lot of home conflicts, okay, situations like that. So this is where you need to prepare for transformation. This is where it's going to happen, around the community, around the home, around the family. Okay, so that's where it's happening, the transformation. What are the blockages to this growth or transformation? Not being able to go with the flow, basically. Okay, riding the waves of the cycles. So it's like karma, or it's like a cycle. Whatever you put out, you get back. It's like a cycle of, cause and effect. So if you ride the waves of life with positivity, you will always get back positivity. Okay, so the blockage is that if you don't ride the waves of life with positivity, and you do it in a negative way, in a very being very negative, being very pessimistic, being low, then your energies will go low. You'll attract that into your life. This can be a blockage to your life. Not trusting, okay? Not trusting the process. Okay, so what supports this growth? Looking at your options. Look at your options and see what works with you. Okay, it relates to your emotions. So it's relating to the emotions of your options. We do see you searching for a purpose, or searching for a choice. Which choice should I make? Okay, if you have a lack of purpose or you are confused, then you won't have support during this transformational growth. But if you have a direction, just like the Chariot card, okay, very similar. If you have a direction, but it involves your emotions. So emotionally, what makes you feel emotionally pulled towards it, the choice that you make? Are you being attracted to that choice in an emotional way? Your emotions are very important here. So that's what will support it, your emotions in regards to your choices or your direction in life. So what do you need to do to shed these old destructive things from your life? Being outright honest. Do not deceive anyone because you don't want to rock the boat or hurt anyone's feelings. Doesn't matter, just be outright and honest. Be forthright. Excuse me. So what will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies? The result will be that you will be more stable, more secure, you'll have more authority over your life, and you will be able to move on with your life in a much, much better way. So that is what I see for you, Sagittarius. Okay, next we've got Capricorn. Capricorn. Okay, you are in the 11th house. The 11th house is the house of community and friends and groups and associations, your ideals, your future, your hopes, etc. So let's have a look and see what comes through for you. So 6 cards for you. So connecting to the group, connecting to community, friends, the people around you, groups that you attend. That's what it's all about during this time, okay? Around this new moon in Scorpio. So self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, and habits that need to be recognized and stopped at this moment in time with the effects of the new moon in Scorpio. What we do get is the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands is saying to me that you have lost your motivation to look ahead for expansion. Okay, you feel like there's a lot of obstacles and delays around you and you are frustrated. This can relate to the COVID as well. Okay, so you're feeling like, I can't do anything because, you know, I'm being delayed, or there's obstacles, or I feel frustrated. I don't feel motivated anymore. Okay, so that kind of situation is coming through. So where you need to prepare for transformation is stop holding yourself back. Stop isolating yourself. It is time to maybe move out a little bit more now. Okay, it's time to step out of your cage. Okay. All right. So the next card we have is what can be a blockage to this growth or transformation, and what we get is the Knight of Swords. Not having a direction, basically. Okay, so if you're kind of like charging full steam ahead without a direction, you'll come across as being impulsive or unpredictable. So having a direction and having this direction without disregarding the consequences, of course. So having a direction, taking action, and moving forwards. Okay, so that's what that card is saying. What supports this growth? What supports this growth is connecting with other people, connecting with well, this card is saying connecting with more females. So it could be friends. Okay, so being in touch with the earth, feeling the compassion, feeling that woman power. Okay, the Venus sign there. Beautifying yourself. Okay, putting more effort and time into making yourself look more beautiful to yourself first, and then out, of course, taking care of yourself, taking care of your aesthetical appearance, and feeling the luxury of your home as well. Okay, doing creative things. All of these things can be can support this transformation and growth. Okay, so that's what's coming through with this with the Empress card. Okay, so what you need to do to shed these old destructive ways, you need to be more open-hearted, you need to be more generous, you need to be more giving, having the flow of giving and receiving, not just money, but, you know, service to others, helping others, being there for others, because it's going to come back to you. If you have the flow of giving and receiving, you'll be giving, but then you'll be at the other end of receiving one day. Okay, so having that giving and receiving, the flow open there, being generous, basically being charitable, and not just with money. So what will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies? Now this card is it doesn't look very nice, but it doesn't say that you will end up having a, you know, heartbreak or grief or whatever. It is saying that you will be able to forgive anyone that has been you know, holding you back or has hurt you in the past. You'll be in the mood to forgive them and recover from this and move on. Okay, so recovering and moving on from past hurts, because the transformation will be at many different levels. Okay, so that is for you, Capricorn. All right, so next we've got Aquarius. Aquarius, let's see what comes through for you for this Scorpio new moon energies. So 6 cards for you. So, Aquarius, you're in the 10th house during this time, and the 10th house relates to your public image, your career, your prestige, your reputation, how people see you, basically. Okay, so let's have a look and see what comes through. Okay, so the first card we have is the 6 of Wands. Okay, so the question here is what self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, and habits that you have, or situations and issues that you need to recognize and stop. Okay, and the 6 of Wands here is maybe having excess pride or lack of recognition. Okay, so maybe you're punishing yourself because you've got lack of recognition. It could be something that you have been doing very successfully, but it is not very good for you or healthy for you at all. Okay, so your self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, habits, issues, etc., that need to be recognized and stopped is something that is stopping you from achieving public recognition and prestige, your reputation, etc. Something relating to your career maybe, or where you are in your life at the moment. Okay, it can relate to self-doubt or too much pride, either way. So where you need to prepare for transformation, you need to release those feelings of not having what it is that you wanted at the emotional level, your heartfelt desires. You've been working on them for so long. It is saying that now it hasn't served you, so it's time to release and let go of them. It's time to release all emotional attachments to those situations that have been holding you back. What are the blockages to this transformation or growth? And I do see you here as being as the Queen of Pentacles. It is saying that if you are not feeling secure within yourself, okay, so if you're lacking security, if you're also maybe feeling self-centered, okay, if you're overly jealous or smothering, but usually it represents lack of a sense of security. So if you're feeling the lack of security and feeling a lack of commitment to certain things in your life at the moment, this is where you need to prepare for transformation, because there will be major transformation relating to these areas. So what will support this growth? You need to look back into the past and see what gave you pleasure, what made you more passionate, what made you gain say your public recognition or your public image, how you were recognized in the past. How were you recognized in the past? What is it that you need to do? You need to look back into your memories, and possibly even move on from those past memories that have not been serving you, and hold on to the memories that have been serving you and use them as examples. So what is it that you need to do to shed these old destructive ways? Use your intuition, okay? So you connect to your inner self, inner knowingness, to be able to release the confusion of where you are, okay? So the moon card is about the unconscious. If you are unclear about something and you are confused and and you are excuse me, and you are feeling afraid, use your intuition. It will show you clarity. Okay, that's how, that is what you need to do to shed these old destructive habits. Look inside of you. If it's been something that has been unhealthy for you in general, you will feel it. You will know. You'll have that inner knowingness. Okay, so what will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies during this time? You will be able to heal yourself. You'll be able to move away from grief and disappointment or loss, and you'll accept what is now and move on from it, and you will find peace and improve on your situation as time goes by. So time heals. Okay, so that's what we're getting here in regards to the Scorpio new moon, Aquarius. Okay, so next we've got Pisces, and Pisces, you are in the ninth house. The ninth house relates to big ideas. It relates to travel, higher learning, spirituality, or philosophy and things like that. So let's have a look and see what comes through for you. 6 cards. Okay, so what we have, we've got a lot of wands cards in this layout, which is very, very typical of the 6th house, actually. Sorry, the 9th house. Okay, so because the 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is a fire sign, and all wand cards are fire element, and they relate to those signs as well. So the very first card we have here shows us self-destructive attitudes, beliefs, and habits that you need to recognize and stop, basically. So the King of Wands. The King of Wands can be someone who's impulsive or overbearing or have impossible expectations. Okay, so the King of Wands can also be full of anger as well. Okay, so these are like self-destructive attitudes or beliefs or habits that you may have at the moment and that you need to recognize and need to stop. Okay, so that's what's coming through. Where you need to prepare for transformation, looking at your options. Okay, choosing your options carefully, searching for a purpose, choices. So this is where you need to prepare for your transformation. Okay. So what are the blockages to this transformation or growth? I do see physical boundaries. Okay, so it can relate to the COVID in some way. So the blockages to this growth or transformation comes through as boundaries, okay, healthy boundaries, physical boundaries. It can also relate to being resilient as well, okay. So if there are situations where you need to take precautions in regards to your physical or healthy boundaries, and for your resilience, in other words, your health and strength. So this is where you need to kind of like realize this is a blockage to this growth. Okay, so it can relate to the COVID. It seems like, it feels like it's relating to the COVID. Okay, having those healthy boundaries, physical distancing, etc. That's the kind of feeling that card has given me. So what supports this growth? Okay, accepting what is. Okay, accepting what is, and it's kind of like, you know, with the cups here, it relates to your emotions. So it's kind of like feeling, you know, disappointment and grief, but accepting what is and moving on from where you are at the emotional level and finding peace within. Okay, so that is what the Five of Cups is saying. So what you need to do to shed these old destructive habits or attitudes and beliefs, you need to stand your ground. Okay, so if you feel like people are overstepping your healthy boundaries, you need to stand your ground. Okay, standing your ground and protecting your person, basically. So what will be the result if you follow the moon's healing energies? Eventually you will be able to travel. Okay, this is a card of travel and movement. So yes, eventually there will be travel one day. Okay, so that is what's coming through for you, Pisces. Okay, so